I'll tell you what he's got. I don't know if you heard of this, but he's got BDE. Anybody know what that means?
Governor DeSantis just walked in. The place just erupted. He got a huge round of applause.
By the way, there's a Michael Corleone sort of aspect. I don't mean that in a mafia way. I mean that he's patient and strategic.
In the past, I think it's a great formula for DeSantis. He excels when he's challenged.
Ron DeSanctimonious.
I'm not a candidate.
We want Trump.
Way more you're talking about that.
On the sales tax out a plan to make you pay more.
Ron DeSantis loves sticking his fingers where they don't belong. And we're not just talking about pudding.
We are way behind, says a top DeSantis PAC official, sounding the alarm. What happened?
The way to pronounce my last name, winner.
No, it's not. That's not how you pronounce it. There's a few different ways, apparently.
You can't even stand up for your own last name, bro. Just like, how is anyone gonna get behind you? How?
Just the whole thing was so utterly embarrassing. Like he and others, and I'm so glad that Ashley put in all of these. There was so much hype around his campaign, which wasn't just him hyping himself. It was lots of people thought, oh, he does really own the libs. Okay. He had like a super majority in Florida. He can effectively do whatever he wants. So he wasted the state's time for years doing culture war stuff that he can easily do to attack the libs. Okay, how does that mean he's gonna be able to win over voters? How does that mean he's gonna be able to take on Trump? When has he ever engaged in an actual fight? We've seen him, go in debates up against Newsom or whatever, and he gets destroyed every single time.
Right.
When did he ever show himself to actually be strong? Not this caricature of strength where he did as governor, like effectively a Charlie Kirk monologue. Like, yes, you can insult the other side, and I'm sure lots of your base will like that or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you're savvy. It doesn't mean that you have charisma. It doesn't mean you can win people over, let alone take down the God Emperor of the modern Republican Party. It just seems in hindsight so utterly ridiculous, the idea that he would be able to be the guy.
I mean, I think Vivek Ramaswamy was a really interesting moment for Ron DeSantis, because here you have a guy who has literally nothing politically to support him, doesn't have all this like awful legislation he could stand on, doesn't have his horrible track record like Ron DeSantis does, but he has the ability to sell hot air, right? He can sell the culture war. He can be galvanizing and captivating and engaging. Like he has little zingers. He can like hold his own against Nikki Haley. Ron DeSantis completely imploded in front of Nikki Haley. And of course, the inability. So I think Ramaswamy was really interesting because people were like, yeah, that's even more of a guy that I would support. And yet, and you saw Fox News and all the right, like they really wanted DeSantis to be a thing. They really wanted him to be like a more couth, reined in MAGA, like, the carrying the MAGA torch. And he couldn't, and he's not. And I think a lot of even like liberals were like, I don't know, maybe he's gonna be more effective. No, he is not. He has always been hot air.
Yeah, and look, there are massive personality flaws and all that like lots of people either can't or don't want to identify. Like the fact that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are desperately needy. Like they just so need everything. Please love us. Please think that I'm smart. Like that doesn't bother people for some reason, and I don't understand it. But there are other personality flaws, like just being really awkward and weird, that does stick out a little bit more. And Ron DeSantis very much has that. He's also desperate and arrogant and ambitious and all that. But he can't sell a message. He can't talk on camera. He can't sell a debate. He literally could not be trained over the course of months with multiple opportunities to smile like a human. Like, and if you can't do that, man, how are you gonna take down Donald Trump, a guy who has, according to certain weirdos, a version of charisma? It just wasn't gonna work. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.